The Galactic Council had made their decision. After 3 cycles of deliberation, they would test the humans' resolve in the way they tested all species who sought membership among the stars, trial by survival. Kor, the Council's warden and a member of the Vraxian species, stood before the viewing chamber. His chitinous exoskeleton gleamed under the sterile lights as he observed the holding cell below. Inside, separated by a force field that hummed with barely contained energy, was humanity's representative, a female named Mira. She was unremarkable by galactic standards. No natural armor plating, no venomous fangs, no enhanced sensory organs, just soft flesh wrapped around fragile bones with only thin fabric for protection. And yet there was something in her eyes, a calculating stillness that made Kor's sensory tendrils twitch with unease. "The human appears calm," observed Council Member Thex, her crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into rainbow patterns. Perhaps she does not understand what awaits her. Kor's mandibles clicked in what passed for disagreement among his kind. She understands. Look at her stance. She's assessing, planning. What truly disturbed Kor wasn't the human herself, it was what she carried. Strapped to her chest in some primitive cloth harness was a smaller human. A juvenile, a cub, barely capable of independent movement, its tiny hands grasping at Mira's shirt. She brought her offspring to a death trial, Thex said, her tone mixing confusion with disgust. "What kind of species?" Initiating test sequence, the automated voice interrupted. The force field dissolved. From the opposite end of the arena, a massive containment door began to rise with a grinding shriek of metal. Kor felt his respiratory spiracles tighten. They were releasing the Zathor. The Zathor had been discovered on a death world in the Outer Rim, a creature that evolved to kill anything that moved. Standing 4 meters tall on 6 powerful legs covered in obsidian scales that could deflect plasma fire, with jaws that could crush starship hull plating. It was, by all measurements, the apex predator of known space. The Zathor emerged into the arena, its head swiveling as multiple eyes locked onto the human. It released a bone-shaking roar that had made countless species surrender immediately, begging for mercy. Mira didn't run, didn't scream. Instead, she adjusted the infant on her chest, ensuring it was secure, and then did something that made every being in the observation deck freeze in shock. She walked toward the Zathor. "What is she doing?" Thex's voice pitched higher, her crystalline structure resonating with distress. The Zathor seemed equally confused. Its prey was approaching? This violated every hunting instinct it possessed. It roared again, louder, a warning that in its native environment would send entire herds scattering. Mira stopped 10 meters away. She made eye contact with the beast, another behavior that should have triggered an immediate attack, and spoke in a calm, even tone that the translation matrix barely picked up. "I see you," she said. "I know what you are, but you need to understand what I am." The Zathor's confusion lasted only a moment. Then its predatory instincts kicked in. It charged, 6 legs propelling its massive bulk forward with terrifying speed, claws tearing gouges in the arena floor. Kor's hand moved toward the emergency termination switch. This had been a mistake. They were about to watch a human and her infant die. Mira moved. She didn't retreat. Instead, she stepped into the charge, pivoting at the last microsecond with a fluidity that seemed to defy physics. The Zathor's jaws snapped closed on empty air as Mira rolled beneath its belly, one hand protecting the infant's head, the other pulling something from her belt, a blade, primitive, metal. As she rolled clear, the blade dragged along the Zathor's underside, the only part of its body not protected by those impenetrable scales. Dark blood sprayed across the arena floor. The Zathor screamed, a sound of pain and rage combined. It spun faster than something that size should move, but Mira was already in motion. She didn't run away from the predator. She circled it, always moving, always just beyond reach of those massive claws. "Impossible," breathed Thex. "She's hunting it." The infant on Mira's chest began to cry, a high-pitched wail that echoed through the arena. The Zathor's attention snapped to the sound, recognizing weakness, vulnerability. It lunged toward the noise. That was its fatal mistake. Mira had been waiting for exactly this response. As the Zathor committed to its attack, she dropped and rolled again, this time bringing her blade up in a precise arc. It entered through the creature's throat just behind the jaw hinge and severed something critical. The Zathor's momentum carried it forward, crashing into the arena wall. It thrashed, its roars becoming gurgles, dark blood pooling beneath it. Within moments, it was still. The arena fell silent except for the infant's crying. Mira stood slowly, checking her child for injuries, even as the Zathor's blood dripped from her clothes. Finding the infant unharmed, she gently bounced, making soft shushing sounds until the crying subsided. Only then did she turn to face the observation deck. Her eyes found Kor's. There was no triumph in them, no pride, just a simple, terrifying certainty. Do you understand now? Her voice came through the comm system. You asked me why I brought my daughter to this trial. It's because everywhere a human goes, we bring our young. We protect them. We have crossed deserts, oceans, and ice ages with infants on our backs. We have fought off predators that make your Zathor look like a pet. We have survived extinction events, plagues, and wars that consumed entire continents. She adjusted the infant in her arms, the child now cooing softly, content. We don't survive despite our young. We survive because of them. They are why we are the most dangerous species you will ever encounter. Because a human protecting their child doesn't calculate odds, doesn't consider surrender. We simply do not stop. Kor's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of deep distress among his people. In that moment, watching this soft, fragile human covered in the blood of their apex predator while gently cradling her offspring, he understood something fundamental about humanity. The Council had made a terrible error in judgment. They had believed humans were like other species, that they could be tested, measured, categorized. But humans didn't fit into the careful boxes the galaxy had created. They were something else entirely, something that couldn't be quantified by armor plating or venom glands or natural weapons. They were survivors refined by eons of refusing to die. Admit them to the Council, Kor said quietly, immediately, and recommend that no species ever threaten a human's young. Agreed. Thex's voice was barely a whisper. In the arena below, Mira had begun singing softly to her daughter, a gentle lullaby that seemed impossibly incongruous with the carnage surrounding her. The human had arrived carrying a cub, and the galaxy would never be the same.